Master students, my name is JVS Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jayoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today we are going to discuss a topic that is animal behavior. So, the session we will cover today is the introduction to animal behavior, and this is concerned with the subject behavioral science. Okay, let's start. So, what is animal behavior? So the behavior is what you do is your behavior. Okay. So it is referring to the everything the animals do, including their movement, including their activities, including their psychological and mental processes. So all are their behavior. So if you talk about the initial period or initial time, so in the initial times, the animals were probably observed for the practical reasons, because the early human survival depends on the knowledge of the animal behavior. So whether you can say the hunting or the wild games or the keeping the domesticated animals or escaping an domestic animal from the predators, the success of the life is required the intimate knowledge of the animal's behavior or its habits. Okay, so today only, or even today, the information about the animal behavior is of the have the very importance or have the values. So, for example, in Sweden, the animal, specific animal known as the moose, they are among the most common the traffic accidents in the rural areas. So the researches on the moose behavior was conducted, and they helping to keeping them off from the roads and the verges. Again, the investigations of the foraging in of insects pollinators such as honeybees have led an impressive increase in the agricultural crop yield throughout the world. So for sericulture, for the fisheries, for the uh, other animals, the behavior of animals should be understood to for a um, successful earning. Okay. So to understand or to clear about the animal behavior, we have to understand two basic things. One is the behavior that we have already discussed. So what is the behavior? And second is the stimulus. Okay, behavior and stimulus. So these are the two basic words we have to uh, should be very clear about them. So after understanding the stimulus, we will again um, recap the definition of the behavior. So first, what is the stimulus? Okay, so stimulus is the any change in the environment. It may be in the biotic environment or in the abiotic environment. So any kind of change which is capable of uh, eliciting the response or reaction in any animal is known as the stimulus. Okay, so is it clear what is the stimulus? So stimulus is any change in the biotic or in the abiotic environment that are capable of creating a response or a reaction in an animal is known as the stimulus. Okay, now what is the behavior again? So behavior is the action in response to stimulus. Okay, so in previous we have discussed that behavior is whatever we do is our behavior. But whatever we do, but why we do? So we do in response something, in response to something. Okay, so we the action is response to stimulus. Behavior is our action in response to stimulus. So is it clear now? So what is the behavior? Okay. Now there are so the stimulus is clear, the behavior is clear. So how to study the animal behavior? Okay, can you think that if you are said, or if you are told that okay, you have to study the behavior of a mice, so what approach will you adopt? What experiments will you adopt? What will you do to understand or to give some conclusions of the behavior of mice? Or say, for example, a deer or a tiger or anything, any animal or any wild or any domestic animal. So there are various approaches. Okay, so generally they are categorized in three categories. One is the um, mechanistic approach. Okay, then second is the ethological approach, and third one is the vitalistic approach. So what is the mechanistic approach? So mechanistic approach is the approach which is used by the scientists in the laboratories. Okay, so you know about the laboratory animals very well, the mice, the rabbit, and the monkeys, etc. So they are put in controlled conditions, controlled laboratory conditions. Okay, they have a specific environment, they have uh, their uh, cage or their room, and so this is an experimental, or you can say that it is a scientific approach. By using the controlled condition, um, you study or you observe the behavior of animal in some stimulus, in response to some stimulus. Okay, so this mechanistic approach was given by a scientist, that is the Pavlov. Fine. So it is fine. Okay, mechanistic approach. Then what is okay, so one concern is there with the mechanistic approach. So you can ask, like, if we are discussing or we are observing the behavior of an animal in laboratory, so is it reproducible in the wild? Because many of the animals are wild animals. Okay, and they behave differently in the lab or in the wild. So in the wild, definitely the response may be different. Okay, so it is a, a point to be noted that, or someone may criticize this mechanistic approach, that the animal will not behave naturally as it behave in the wild, in the laboratory conditions. Okay, fine. So the second approach is the ethological approach. Ethological approach. Okay, so what is the ethological approach? It is somewhat natural but not perfect. So in the ethological approach, it is performed, or it is observed in the fields, not in the labs. And it was given by the scientists and the Lorentz, von Frins, and Tinbergen. Okay, so it is the approach which is observed in the field, and this is not the fully controlled observations. So this is again a scientific approach, and it is not a non-scientific study. So the next one is the vitalistic approach. So vitalistic approach, or it is 100% conducted in the natural environments. So it is maybe you say that it is a non-scientific. Okay, non-scientific in the way because you do not have any controls on the conditions. Okay, so this is uh, the natural behavior of the animals, which is studied or observed in the natural environment. So it is again, it have a negative point with that, that you do not have any control on the activities, and these behaviors will not be reproduced in the laboratory. So you can adopt any approach with the proper justification. You can adopt the vitalistic approach, you can adopt the mechanistic approach, you can adopt the ethological approach. Okay, so all are the fine with the proper justifications. So these were the various approaches to study the animal behavior. Okay, so next, where is the four, if we say that uh, the major areas from which the ethologists have tried to understand the animal behavior. So what are the major areas from which we can understood the animal behavior? Because not only the approaches are sufficient, we have to understand the animal behavior from its genetics, from its evolutionary information, from its developmental conditions, developmental stages. There are many more things which should be categorized, or which should be included when you study the animal behavior. Okay, so that will also be the discussed in the next lectures. And this is all about the introduction of animal behavior. And in the next class we will study the ethology. What is ethology, and what are the various aspects of the ethology? Okay, so hope you are satisfied with this digital session. If you have any query, you can write in the comment box. And this session is powered by Digital Version 2, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.